Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, here to talk Love Island USA. We are on episode 19 of the current season. This is Monday night's episode. Wow, we have a lot here. As you can see, I'm solo. Brian, it is a little crazy to think that Brian lost his power and isn't available tonight after he really went off on the Bergie and the Bergaholic. So hopefully Brian is safe. Safe just like Bergie, because Bergie got to be part of the judge, jury, and executioner during the elimination. That's what we are going to lead off with, just like the episode led off with. The guys who are safe are going to choose one of the girls to eliminate one of the four vulnerable girls, and vice versa, with the safe women going to be able to vote off one of the vulnerable men. The voting men being Bergie, Marco, and Jonah, Amani, Haley, and KK for the women. Kind of simultaneous conversations going on about less who they want to get rid of and who is more deserving to be here, who is testing their relationships, which became a big theme throughout the conversations, who's fully engaging, who is being fully vulnerable. Those were the driving reasons for the eliminations of Harrison, the Australian jeweler, and Emily. They did pair up pretty quickly. Harrison kind of did get an out from the Destiny relationship that we know from his own admittances in his confessionals that he was going to end. Emily really just liked Harrison, I think, frankly, but unfortunately, because they really didn't go and test those relationships at all, they're gone. Now, is that fair? I don't know, but I do also think the fair assessment would be that a lot of the OGs try to stick together. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. And I also look, I think their time was there. I don't think there was really much more right now to find out, at least what they were willing to put out there. Mike wants to make sure he has a stronger connection with Destiny. It is nice to see Destiny happy. Nice to see them kind of expressing that, and I do hope, but am very conscious of the fact that him being able to go off to Casa, having the VIPs come and have the Casa Amor week, may make it tough. And I'm curious for herself now. Will she feel like, a little bit more confident now going into Casa Amor, and maybe she will actually find an even better connection, which again, she deserves to do. I mentioned Casa Amor. Obviously, this is one of the best parts, if not the best part of the season, starting off this Casa Amor kind of timeline, the week. The women were the ones to sneak off to Casa Amor to have the VIP red carpet walk in to meet the new VIP men, the gentlemen that entered. Before we get to the new men, though, some things that happened right before they left. Marco and Hannah decide to be closed off to others. Leo and Cassie similarly do the same thing. They don't use those words, but he does say that he's totally in love with her, which should mean more, but we're going to find out about that. Um, Obviously, the Keenan and KK saga continues. And again, look, KK's point, I think, are very valid. I don't want to sit around every week and wait for him to see if he likes the next girl and fully get to interview her and get to know her. And maybe if he likes her, he gets to leave. I don't think that's cool. I just really don't. And she does. She knows it. And he knew it because he was going to go and admit it and ask to be closed off. But the women got the text to do the sneak off to Casa Amor. And now leaving Keenan sweating. And it's going to be really interesting to see how he deals with the women coming in tomorrow night. Um, Bergie, I don't want to, I'm not going to rail on the Bergie stuff. That was last night's episode. I'm going to give Bergie the tiniest of props tonight because he had the funniest line of the whole episode. After the eliminations, he's there brushing his teeth afterwards with the crowd and goes, "Why am I still here? I'm single." And he's just kind of realizing it. And then Marco says, "America voted off a romantic couple, but kept Bergie." And so, Bergie lives another night. He still gets to share the bed with Mike. They're buddies. And look, I don't know. I didn't think Bergie was going to make it to Casa Amor. Brian was a little bit more afraid of it. Brian's thinking there may be some like production manipulation. I think a lot of our responses and our comments and a lot of the social media are saying the same. So we're going to see how far this goes. It's going to be interesting to see, frankly. I think the Casa Amor can be the ending. I'm very curious if they have like a ringer that they have kind of lined up for Bergie who was into him and has expressed that. the behind the scenes per se. Um, yeah, I mean, that's really what I want to do. I want to go over the men really quickly that were introduced. We don't know a lot about them yet. We have the Casa Boys, aka the Sexy Realtors. It's going to be Kyle. He says he's tall, dark, and handsome. Robert, nice eyes. I say he looks like a Chad. This dude's a snake catcher. And if you ever seen any of my Bachelor coverage, lizard kids are weird. And as a snake catcher, man, he's probably going to end up being a snake. Brandon, he is a rower at a Philadelphia school, probably like Penn, maybe at the worst, like a Villanova Temple. Eddie, handsome. He said he was an NFL free agent, which is interesting. So I'm going to look into that a little bit more. Mattia is the Italian French guy with the clothing brand, and Tay is the one dimple guy. And that's really what we have about them. We see the preview for tomorrow night. We're going to get to meet the women. If you go on the social media, Facebook and Instagram stories, they've released the cards showing the names and the pictures. But we're going to get to meet them properly tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed here and on TikTok. Brian does 60-second reviews of every episode of Love Island USA. We do reality TV news of the day, cover everything and anything reality TV. Check out the YouTube channel playlists, and you'll see all the different franchises we are covering. But until next time, for all of us here at The Reality Guys, thank you. Peace.